this came up in a live recently, so I thought it'd be a cool idea to make a video about it. So there's a saying, if you're young and not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're older and not a conservative, you have no mind. And that's very much true in my situation. Well, I can't remember the question that led into this, but I used to be that bleeding heart liberal. That was me, you know, because that's what you do. You're a liberal. You want to help everyone and feed the children. I don't know. So obviously you're going to go towards liberalism because that's what you're sort of told. If you're not like super in tune, that's what you're told. Those are the people that care. So naturally, I was a liberal. I voted for Obama both terms. I used to hang out at the Democratic headquarters in my little town, and I would get Obama signs and put them in my yard, and then the evil Republicans would like take them down and I'd put them back up. But that was me, very much so. And then but I will say along the way, even though I was super liberal in these beliefs of wanting to help people and serve people, there are parts that are inherent to my personality that I think probably are more right-leaning. Like I'm really big on personal responsibility. I'm really black and white when it comes to like, you know, like enforcement for certain things you should be gray on. Certain things I believe are very black and white. And again, it's that big personal responsibility element. Also, you know, I went to school for human services. Yes, that is a degree. But there was no math. That's one of the reasons why I did it. But I'm a natural person of service. I love people. And I worked in psychiatric hospitals. I worked with foster kids. I worked in group homes. I worked alongside with CPS, alongside with police, alongside with all of that. So I got this real life experience at a really young age. And I saw that, yeah, there are people that game the system. There are people that are not honest. And there are people that will call you the bad guy for doing the right thing. That does exist. It for sure does. And, like I voted for Obama both terms. In 2016, I didn't even vote because I don't know. I think I just lived through all that stuff, and I was like, you know, politics doesn't really matter anymore. It doesn't matter who you vote into office. They all promise the same things, but no one does anything. So I didn't even vote in that election. But I lived in Denver. I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in these super liberal places. In the place that I lived in Los Angeles, I started noticing, wait, I used to be able to like take a shortcut down that little like alleyway and I can't do that anymore. Or I used to be able to walk down that street and I can't do that anymore. These policies and politics started making me feel physically unsafe, is the truth. And then watching the 2016 election, watching the reactions, and then seeing all these things that the media were saying that I'm finding out of curiosity that aren't necessarily true, it changed a lot of things for me. And it was really disappointing because, you know, when I started my YouTube channel and I started, you know, speaking my mind and coming out with things, I basically lost almost every single friend. Because they were so offended, they were so appalled that I now didn't agree with them. And I think if any of you have been with me for a little while, you know, I might get things wrong sometimes. I might make mistakes. I might get a few details wrong or this or that. But everything I talk about is from my heart, and it's very, very researched. Doesn't mean you're always going to agree. Doesn't mean I'm not a human and I don't make mistakes. But it's very, very thought out and very researched. Also, given all of my personal experiences in these fields, where in some of these jobs that I had, I literally would get beat up. So to have friends of mine just ditch me like that and just all of a sudden now think that I'm the worst person ever because I don't agree with them and I don't go with this narrative, it upset me. I mean, that's very hurtful. You can be the strongest person in the world, but it's still hurtful. I mean, even just recently, I had one of my acting teachers was in my DMs telling me shame on me because I was talking about the politics in Los Angeles. Said, shame on you. This is someone that used to be a mentor of mine, someone that I used to look up to. So yeah, that's the kind of crap that you deal with. But that's essentially how I turned from bleeding heart to more conservative in these beliefs, more Republican in these beliefs, because of real life, because I've experienced real life and I went through these things. And I'm so thankful that I did, because I feel like even at my age, a lot of people don't. And, you know, I'm supposed to be in that liberal bubble. I'm supposed to be one of them, and I'm not. And it's almost like, I did want to say one more thing before I end this, but like I said, I'm a person of service. I always have been. One of the reasons that I'm big on personal responsibility is because I believe in people. I do. I believe people are capable. A lot of people are capable. People are intelligent. The human spirit, what you can do is endless. Almost not endless, but you know what I'm saying. And I believe if you set the bar down here, that's where people are going to meet it. If you set it up here, people will meet it. They're going to meet the bar where you set. Excuse me. It seems like the Democrat agenda has been, we're going to set the bar down here for everyone. No, the people are capable. People are very capable. And I used to work with kids that came from really low income places. They're actually some of the smartest, most resourceful kids that I've ever met because they've had to be. But no one's setting the bar. Everyone just expects them to be down here, so they stay there. But yeah, I believe in the human spirit. I believe in all of that. You set it up here, people will meet it. So that's a big thing to do. I think a lot of people are smart, and I think they're capable, and that's just me. But that's not the Democrat. It's like the bigotry of low expectations, and I don't like that. I've never liked that. One of the reasons I don't like that is because I worked with kids who that's how society treats them, and so they stay there even though I knew them and they were capable of so much more.